So our next speaker is Marty Hausam, who is the State Reentry Programs Manager for Goodwill. Marty.
When I got into reentry, my heart was just completely opened up to so much more than the knowledge that I had with working with a bunch of church ladies, because that's what I had done for years, was work with church ladies, and was able to travel all over and work with them. And the first time I was in prison, talking with ladies, there was just there's difference. There was such a difference. And God just put on my heart, this is where you're supposed to be. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no. What I learned is, and y'all don't laugh, women and men in prison are 10 times easier to deal with than people in church. And I'm a church guy. And this is why people are like, why do you say that? I said, because the people in prison have already had all their stuff on the website. They're the realest people you will ever meet. And people in church, we just pretend like we have it all together, and we're just being all this So I did hear an amen out there. So anyway, that is what just absolutely opened my heart and to get into reentry. So I didn't look back, and here I am. And what I have learned from the community. And Northwest Arkansas, that's where I work here. I have office out of Returning Home for Goodwill. Northwest Arkansas has absolutely embraced the fact of communities working together, of different organizations working together. I'm good at a couple things, but there are some things I have no clue what I'm doing. But it is amazing when we can partner with other organizations, because guess what? We're not in competition. We're all here to help the same people. So when I can pick up the phone and go, I have no idea, help me. And they're like, okay, this is what you need. I had a lady call me the other night, and it happened to be on a Friday night. I was working late at work. It was 6 o'clock, and she said, Miss Marty, I have no idea how to help this person. And you answered your phone, and I knew you would tell me. And I said, okay, this is step by step in this situation. She said, I'm so thankful you're not a silo to all your information. I was like, are you kidding me? We can't be. We're here to help everybody. We're not in competition. So you look at me and go, why does she have Goodwill hanging up there? So that's what I'm excited to share. I work for a company that is saying, how can we help the people? Now, before I ever came to work for Goodwill, I had the passion for reentry. And someone said, hey, Goodwill has a reentry program. They would be interested in talking with you, hiring you. I was like, I thought Goodwill was just a store. So I had to, on my own, do some information and investigating. And what I have found has been really interesting. Goodwill, hold on, I gotta open my water bottle. I've done warned y'all I was a hot mess. Goodwill was founded in 1902 in Boston. What happened was a pastor was like, how can we help these people? So he went and gathered clothes, then he hired people to fix the clothes, and they resold them, and it went back to the communities. Well, the mayor in Little Rock in 1927 gathered up some other community leaders in Little Rock and said, let's go to Boston and check this out. So they went to Boston, learned about Goodwill, and said, we want to open one in Arkansas. You need to understand that each Goodwill is a separate chapter per state. So what I'm going to talk about with our reentry program here in Arkansas is a Arkansas Goodwill reentry program. Each chapter in each state is different. There's a headquarters, Goodwill Industries International, but it is a separate entity. We chapter out from there. Our mission is changing lives through education, training, employment. And the amazing things that we're able to do. Right now, our statistics for last year, our fiscal year, was that we put 6,375 people into jobs. That's a lot of jobs. We served 19,247 people in the state of Arkansas. That is amazing that we're able to serve that many people. The average wage is $10.89. The Excel Center. Goodwill now has said We've got a lot of people in Arkansas that do not have a high school diploma, and they're not getting their GED. What can we do? We started looking at the barriers to why they're not getting their GED and why they're not going back to why they didn't complete high school. And so we said, well, let's do it. It's through the Excel Center, which is a national known program, and we have a free, tuition-free, free childcare, free food come to school. And we can do it on flex time. So you walk in, and the ratio to teachers to students is about 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Each student in this high school has a life coach that works with them in all aspects of their life. So this is in Little Rock. Goodwill hopes to open 5 more within the state. So we're really excited about the people we could serve. Another one of Goodwill's programs is the disability services. We're able to put coaches with people that have been referred to us by other state agency. In one of those programs is we have got people with a disability that have got felon charges. That's a double bang right there. We've got a program that's called Beyond Barriers that just is for people that have a disability and they have a felony charge. So we've put together a program for that also. Employer services. This is what's neat. We have got over about 24 career centers all throughout the state. What a career center is if you walk into a Goodwill and you look around, sometimes you will see a computer lab with some offices. There's a lady in there that works full time that does nothing but help people find jobs. She will partner with the company. Let's say that Walmart down the street says, we're opening a new store, we need this many employees. We're like, okay, we'll do a job fair for you, we'll do all your marketing, we'll do everything, and guess what, it's all for free. We don't charge anybody anything. Goodwill does not charge to put people to work, and we do not charge the employers. Come in and talk to us. Now, as they're talking with us, we're able to coach them and talk with them about hiring for second chance. But when people get out of incarceration, they can go to any career center anywhere in the state and say, I need help. So our employer services is a big thing for our employers. But our career and reentry services, which is part of the employer services, Goodwill was like, okay, we need a program that is just for reentry services. So we have got reentry programs, and a lot of my team now offices off-site. We've even got some offices at Arkansas Community Corrections. Up there we have got them in some town hubs. We went to where the people that have been incarcerated are at. Where are they going when they get out? That's where we need to be. Quit sitting back and wait for them to come to us. Let's go to them. That is why we were able to partner with Returning Home and say, okay, let's office out of here because guess where the people are coming? Let's help them. And when they come in, we talk with them and just see what their needs are. And so many people think if they get a job that fixes it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't fix it. Sometimes when they come in, they thought they were looking for a job, but really if they haven't eaten in 2 days, we got to find them some food. Where are they sleeping at? What's going on? If they don't have shoes on their feet, we have people that come in and have the shoes they left prison in and they're the flip-flops. So we've got to start, and so I was like, well, let's look at this Maslow's pyramid of needs and let's put some reentry stuff in that. And let's talk about what these people really need. So in the reentry services, we're like, the job is important, but let's put it in perspective. Let's put it where we need to put it at. And so we now we're in 4 prisons, some of our big prisons down south, and we are teaching reentry classes that the officers will send us, people in the community will send us over 30 times a month. That class is taught all over the state. And this is like, we're able to say, hey, they don't even know how to explain their charges. They will look at me and I'll say, okay, let's talk about the interview. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about how you're going to interview for the interview. And we'll start doing a mock interview with them. And I'm like, oh, we got to back up. We got to start all over. And they'll start talking to me and I'm like, tell me your charges. This is an example I use all the time because very true story, and it made a big difference. Gentleman came in, he said, Miss Marty, I'm having a hard time finding a job. I said, okay, tell me your charges. Well, I have break and entering, I've got theft, I've got drug charges. Y'all know what the number one hardest job, our hardest charge to get a job with in this area, if it's non-violent or non-sexual, because those are up there, is a theft charge. Theft charge hits them every time. So I'm like, all right, that's what you did, now let's talk. And I looked at this gentleman who had amazing skills. But he, you know, his identity was his charges. And I said, what have you done since then? Well, how long ago were your charges? 2 years ago. What have you done since then? That's the magic words. Since then. He said, well, that was over 2 years ago, and since then I have moved to Northwest Arkansas. And what happened was I lived in Chicago and ran with gangs, and I broke into a building and we stole stuff. And then I had drugs and we got busted. I said, okay, let's talk about what you've done since then. So he went into his next interview, making $13 an hour to start. And he said, I see that you got a felony conviction. Yes, sir. He said, over 2 years ago, I was in a lifestyle I wasn't very proud of. Since then, I have relocated. I've been clean and sober. And this is what I've done. That gentleman hired me right then. I looked at him, and I say this to all my people. I look at them and say, are you the same person you were when you caught the charge? They're like, no, ma'am. I said, no, I act that way. Put your shoulders back, hold your head up. You've got to have confidence in who you are now before that employer will ever have confidence in you. And you know what? What you have went through in your past is now part of your story. It's part of your message. Do not have shame. When these people, and I will have these big men walk in my office, I had one the other day, the shame that just was all over him, it broke my heart. I was like, no, sir. Do you know how many young kids need to hear your story of how well you're doing now and how you got out of those gangs? How you do that and how you are raising your children and are involved in her softball team and how you are volunteering in the community? Don't have shame in your past. Don't do it. Let's work through that and let's get you the counseling and the help that you need for that. Again, that is our career and reentry services. So you see how just sometimes it's not just about the job. It's about how do you build a resume. Well, they're like, Miss Marty, I was incarcerated for 15 years. I said, well, you've got some good skills. Tell me about them. They start telling me what they did in prison. I said, you just worked with the state of Arkansas, and we put those skills down. A gentleman went to a factory to get a factory job, and they seen his resume of all the skills he acquired while he was incarcerated. If you do not use the word incarcerated on the resume, you were working with the state of Arkansas. He was hired as maintenance manager. And so making $17 an hour versus the $11 he went in for. And they're like, oh, you mean this is what my resume can look like? I'm like, yes. Just because you weren't paid for a skill doesn't mean you don't have the skill. We know how to word it. We tell them to always be truthful, but don't say more than you need to say. Be confident in who you are. Always be truthful and be confident in who you are. And sometimes it's just going back to the basics with them. Sometimes it's how to dress. Sometimes it's to keep that cell phone bit away when you go into an interview. It's about what do you smell like? What do you look like? Are your nails clean? And I realized when I got into this field that I now know why God made me so bossy and such a big motivator. Because I can look, I will have a lady come in that's in our program or come in, and I'm like, girl, go home, try again. Because you need to be respected for your mind, not your body. And that is what we're going to do. And they will look at me, yes ma'am, they'll go home, get dressed, come back, try again, and now you can interview. And it's because those are the things that we teach them. But it's like, we've got to talk about why we dress that way and what we were doing. And, you know, with gentlemen, it's the same thing, but it's also, they know someone cares about them. Now, what will happen is we will have these classes all over the state, and I've got coordinators in different parts of the state, and we'll have somebody in class that we're like, we want to take them under our wing a little bit. And we want to just kind of mentor and coach and work with that person a little bit deeper than just the Reentry 101 classes and so forth. That is where our Transitional Employment Opportunity Program comes in. Goodwill says, well, let's put them to work for us, and let's coach them, train them, and mentor them the whole time. So we can put them in a 16-week paid training program, and this is the words that I use, so don't laugh. When I'm talking with them about this, I said, okay, this is what this program's about. I got a question to ask you. I said, I'm gonna be all up in your Kool-Aid. Are you all right with that? Because if you're not, this ain't gonna work. Because this isn't just about a job, this is about you and what other areas do we need to work on and send out for other resources and counseling or life skills or what it is. And so many times there was something much deeper in there than just a job. And in this program, the number one factor in this program that in my areas that I run is character. And this is the reason why. This is what I've seen. I can teach somebody about how to be a really good employee. I can help somebody with their budget. I can help somebody in these areas, but if their character and integrity isn't there, it ain't gonna last. That's just the fact of it. When I teach them that, guess what? I was a hot mess. I could have been on Jerry Springer about 14 years ago, not kidding. I've been married 28 years. My husband's back there. We could have had a Jerry Springer, both of us. But I look at them and say, I know how a character can change. And I'm a spiritual person, and I can say, it even tells us in Scripture that all things, behold, become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. It's like, you can change that. Now let's work on it. And it's daily little things that we coach them on and work with them on about character and integrity. We look at them and say, your decision does not define you. Your bad decision did not define you. Your reaction to it did. Now what you're going to do, let's talk about it. Because in that program, that 16-week program, I'm getting them right out of jail. And sometimes they're a hotter mess than I am. And it's little things, be honest, and just little things. Every week, we introduce a new word. What is this character word? How does it relate to your life? And what are examples? I teach them every decision you make every day. You're breaking your character or building your character. And the one you feed the most is the one that's going to grow. You will either break it or you will build it. And this is what's happened. When they get that their character and integrity can change and that they can be an amazing, awesome help to this society and this community, they don't mess up because of who they are, not because of the outside consequences. They've worked too hard to redo what's inside of them. And what that looks like, that they're like, I ain't messing up because I've worked too hard to be proud of who I am when I lay my head down at night. And I've worked too hard to be honest. And it wasn't anything that we taught them to do or not to do. It's about working on that inside piece. And when that character and integrity is rebuilt, guess what? They make better decisions at work. They make better decisions with family, and they make better decisions with money. All those things are affected by that one core piece of character and integrity. And we do a lot of examples of character and integrity because how do you teach that? I mean, how do you teach it? And it's about people being real. What I have found is that when I came in, we were all about getting employers to say, hey, will you hire one of my offenders? Hey, will you hire one of my offenders? We have a step back and go, we need to hire some of our offenders to work in these programs. And what has happened is, what has happened with us doing that is Goodwill is like, okay, let's try it. We have thought, who else is better to talk to somebody than somebody else that's been there, done that, got the t-shirt? Right. We've hired people now that are under great mentorship and great leadership all over the state to come in and help us teach these reentry classes, to come in and talk with these people that are out of incarceration because guess what? They can see things I cannot see. They'll come up to me and go, Miss Marty, they're blowing smoke. That ain't right. Like, okay, tell me, talk to me, teach me. And what has happened is lives are changing. Lives are changing because people are being transparent and they're able to stand. It's so neat. I'll go to different parts of the state and observe some classes. And a lot of times I'll do team training, and I'm one of the very few in the whole team that hasn't been incarcerated. But anyway, I will walk in, and someone is standing before a group of people that have just been out of incarceration, and they're teaching professionalism. They're teaching how do you go in and interview, how do you go in and talk respectfully, in all these different areas. And then they'll say, because after my incarceration, and everybody's look on their faces just changed. They're like, you were incarcerated? Yes, I was. This is who I am now. And they're like, if that person can do this person knows what they're talking about because they've been incarcerated. So I need to listen a little bit better, or I need to pay attention to what they're saying. And so that is amazing. But we got to go all the way back to a whole as a community. As a community, we have to realize that everybody is a hot mess. We all have baggage. We all have messed up, and we have all done it. If we keep a label on somebody of being a felon and not hiring them, we're missing some amazing workers. We're missing. And I will say this, the hardest people to get to open their doors are our governments and our cities and our states. They won't do it. And it's like we've got to pray that those doors are completely opened and completely changed, because lives can completely change when we do that. The thing is, don't just try to talk an employer into hiring felons. Be the employer who hires felons. Talk to the people you work for and say that lives can completely change with that. The ways that you can help us change lives. How I'm paid is when you clean out your closet. When you clean out your closet and you donate to Goodwill, that money goes into all these programs. To pay these people in the TEO programs, to pay the staff that are out working for people, to pay the career specialists. We ask that you donate. Clean out your closets and donate. An average sale at Goodwill is $6.95. We sell a lot of $6.95 places to go to. Shop our stores. Goodwill is big on integrity, so they don't let us shop in the stores. And there are some amazing things in there. Their point is customers get the first choice. Customers get the choice of what's going on in those stores. So we can't even shop in there until the item's been out in the store for a week. But shop our stores. And I have asked ahead of time. There's a lot of people in this room that are in a TEO program or have been in one. And I asked ahead of time, and they said that yes, they would be willing to say, hey, here I am, and lives can change. If you guys would stand or wave to the that they had to go drug test because the drug court decided today would be a good day to call in all kinds of colors, so they had to leave to do a drug test. But this is the deal. Go home, clean out your closet, and help us change a life. Thank you.